Hi everyone, I'm Mark,
And I'm Alex.
and this is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks. Alright, man, here we are, episode 24. We're making our way through Final Fantasy IX. We're doing our little walkthrough, playthrough series. Alex and I have been playing along as basically the things that we talk about, and so it's been really fun kind of getting more into it. But if you're
Yeah.
looking to start us off here, or start with us rather at the beginning, episode 6 is where you're going to want to go if you're new. If not, well, let's get a move on, man. So we just left off at the Iifa Tree, right?
Yeah, we finished up Madain Sari and then we headed over to the Iifa Tree.
Yep.
And basically your first time here, it's pretty simple. You have a little scene at the very beginning where Aiko breaks the seal
Yeah.
and she does this whole like little ceremony thing, and then it turns out that she didn't really need to, it was all for show. Anyways,
Yeah.
it was a funny part, but then you get the accessory Ruby, which is pretty nice because now Aiko can learn her second summon Carbuncle.
Carbuncle. Yep. Which is kind of cool, if you use her in her summons. Now you got the second one, which I don't know. I mean, I still probably don't really ever use, and you probably won't need to here because,
Yeah,
well, some of these enemies all have just such amazingly easy tactics to use that I know
yeah,
for a fact, man, back in the day, we definitely did not do this stuff.
probably not. But hey, taking a step back real quick, I just want to say that the interesting fact with Carbuncle is that its move changes with what kind of accessory is equipped on Aiko. Like if it's a ruby, then it uses ruby light. If it's emerald, it uses a different one, and if it's sapphire, I think it uses even a different one. So
Nice.
it's kind of interesting, like from different ones, it doesn't just do reflect, it can do all kinds of different stuff. But yeah, going on now to what you were talking with a lot of these enemies here, it turns out that a lot of them can just be killed with items, right?
Yeah, so the first one we got is the Stroper. I don't even know how to describe it. What is it? It's like a tree or
It's a tree or something with like, it looks like it's got, honestly, it looks like an octopus with like a
it
bunch of
does.
tentacles, but it's a tree.
But it's a tree. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strange. It may look quite formidable. Just a weird thing though is if you just use a soft on it, it kills it instantly. It says became too soft to live. I
Yeah.
don't.
I
That's
never knew that
bizarre.
as a kid.
Yeah, I
I never
know.
knew that, like,
Well, yeah, I
but
mean, we never thought to do that. We just, okay, it's an enemy, let's just fight it, and
I wouldn't have thought, yeah, I wouldn't have thought that that would be something you'd want to do. But anyways, other than that, so yeah, you can kill this guy outright by just using a soft.
yep.
But he's a pretty annoying enemy. He uses silence and a big attack called sweep that does moderate physical damage to all party members. And one other note too is that we don't have Kina at the moment, but
Yeah.
if you come back here with Kina, you can eat it to learn level 5 death, which is pretty sweet.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll still we don't have Kina. She stayed in Madain, sorry, to keep cooking, I
Yeah.
guess, and eating fish. But if you do ever want to come, to this point and eat these, here they are. But the next few all kind of have the same elements to them. So zombie, Draco zombie, and the Mistodon, I
Mhm.
guess. They're all undead. And so it's kind of interesting. I mean, go to town with Phoenix Downs and Life. I mean, Life is only 6 MP, and you got 2 characters now. You can just kill them instantly. I mean, it's quite strange. Like I said, man, I don't think we ever did really that too much either. Like, it's just it's interesting. You just kind of get in
Yeah.
that combat phase where you just attack everything all the time. You don't actually go for their quirks.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the strategy at this place is, I mean, you've got a lot at your disposal. So you've got two healers with Aiko and Dagger. So you can usually have, one of them healing your party if need be, the other one using Cure or Life on a lot of these enemies,
Yeah.
both the zombie and the Draco zombie. The Mistodon, I think we fight here at a later point, but for right now, the zombie and the Draco zombie, those guys are undead, so they just get killed outright with that. They're
Yeah.
also weak to fire because they're undead. Another thing you could do with Zidane is equip the ability Undead Killer, so he'll be doing pretty decent damage. They also have some kind of annoying moves, like the zombie has this self-destruct move called Melt that they'll do if you don't kill them quickly enough, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, like we're just gonna mention that you can eat these with Kina for roulette, but we don't have Kina. And finally, the Draco zombie. This guy is a real pain because you can use this zombie breath attack, and at this point in the game, unless you stocked up on magic tags back at Maiden Sari, that's a really annoying move. You can
Yeah.
afflict zombie on your characters. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, we only have one that we've just picked up in general, Magic Tech. Definitely wasn't something that I think most people go for heading here, but again, there's the chance that you might have zombie effect apply to. Everything is also just incredibly easy to kill. So, and on that
yeah,
note, I would recommend maybe like if there's ever an easy time to grind with the party that you have right now, it's now. I mean, it's very easy. I didn't really on my hand. I don't know. I just kind of went through, got in a couple of battles. But there is
yeah.
our next Moogle, and it's Machi the Moogle, right? So we finally have
Hachi.
this letter that we can deliver from
Nice.
Magrio. So we got that one taken care of, and we still have one last one, don't we?
Yeah, we were just talking about this too, because it's interesting. We've been, and if you've been following along, if you've done the Magnet delivery thing up to this point,
Yeah.
you'll have this letter from Cuppo to Kupo. And we've had this forever. Like,
Yeah.
literally, Cuppo was the Moogle in Fossil Rue that was hiding behind the wall.
Yeah, way
I
back.
used the little pickaxe to unearth. But we were just realizing, it's like, yeah, you're gonna hold on to that for a minute because Kupo's still back on the Mist Continent, so we'll be getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we've met him, we know where he's at, and so it's like, yeah, it's a bit. You still have that letter, so don't think you missed anything. Nope, you're still having it.
Yeah,
We're gonna have it for a while.
don't get rid of it. Definitely.
Exactly. All right, so we got some other treasures here. Obviously, this place is it's pretty linear. You kind of just, I mean, especially when you first enter it, you got four screens that are nothing but roots. You're going the right way. Trust us. Just keep going, right? And then we got the Moogle, and now we're getting down to the point where we go down that first elevator and we're starting to descend. So these two screens that kind of have like the black roots, they're really hard to explain. So just kind of
Yeah.
go around the edges. I forget where it's at exactly on the first one and the second one, but there's going to be little exclamation points, going to be little question marks or whatever that have you either hit a lever or a switch, and it will release a treasure. Well, I guess it's one you actually do have to hit on the second screen and then go back to the front one. So once you hit that,
Oh, that's
go
right.
to one or the other screen if you don't see anything happen initially, and that's what drops down. But one of them's pretty good, right?
Yeah. There are two really good treasures in here, and I believe both of them are dropped by levers or switches. One is the healing rod, and the second one is the Lamia's flute.
Yeah, which that one's just already there on the ground. You can't really miss it as you're going down. I think it's the only available treasure chest. And so that one's great. I mean, if you've already maxed out Aiko's flute, well, here you go. Here's your new one. And then
Hmm.
yeah, that healing rod drops. I think the other thing that drops is like a phoenix down or something. It's I
Yeah.
don't know. It's something that's not great, but that healing rod, brand new rod. So that's pretty sweet as well. Get two upgrades for the people who are just decimating everything by using life on it.
Yeah, and I think that has, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's got Cura, which is really nice for Dagger at this point, unless you had the Barrette, which was a
Yeah.
synthesis item you could get that could teach your Cura. This will be your first chance to learn Cura with Dagger.
Yeah.
And then it also has a really interesting ability called Healer that is one of the abilities that you equip, and it just makes it so that all of her physical attacks heal instead of damage.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. It's
Yeah,
you just
I
how we're
don't really
smacking
use
each
it
other.
much. Yeah, it's funny to watch, that's for sure. Like especially with the racket, they'll sort of take a step back and then just hit him.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Hey, but interesting strategy possibly. Who knows?
yeah,
So there's a lot of story here. I know we're kind of glossing through this, but essentially they're all kind of just getting more resolute in sticking together and going finding out what exactly is going on here. I mean,
yeah,
they're kind of talking about there's mist. We get to the big leaf elevator. It's like it's such a strange thing. It's literally a tree, but it's a giant leaf that works as an elevator. I don't know.
Yeah, and it like goes in a big circular fashion all the way
Yeah.
down the trunk of the tree. And yeah, like what you said, you get this whole section here where they sort of break up and you can go and talk to Vivi and Aiko and Dagger and stuff. And you get a couple of forced battles here. One's
Yep.
with a Draco zombie, I believe, and then or the first one's with a group of three zombies. The second one's with the Draco zombie.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, like what you said, they're just they're wondering what is going on in this place because like obviously this isn't any normal tree. You know, there's this crazy green glow at the
Yeah.
very bottom. There's mist everywhere, and we know that
Exactly.
on the outer continent there's no mist. So this is all really weird. They're just and then there's also that part with Mog where Mog starts sensing some life at the bottom
At the
of the
bottom, yeah.
Iifa tree.
Yep.
Something's about to happen.
Yep, something is. And you get down there, again, people are just having some thoughts. I think one of probably my favorite, scenes is here where Aiko takes Zidane by the hand, or rather wants you to come look at the lights. And he has to look down to see it, and he knows that
Uh,
she's not looking, and she's like, "Oh, I was watching the reflection or the sparkle in the reflection of your
yeah.
eyes." It's
Yeah, I
like
was seeing the reflection and the sparkle in your eyes or
it's
something. It's just
and it's
like,
great. But what I love here too, though, is that Dane, he has that internal thing where it's like, is this what I've been putting Dagger through this whole time?
yeah,
He kind of
uh-huh.
realizes how kind of annoying it is when you're coming on super strong.
Yeah, and that's a funny point that you make because when you think about it, Zidane's been laying it on strong on Dagger for like since the Evil Forest, pretty
Yeah,
much. You
very
know, like he's
long
been
time.
shooting a shot all the time at her. And then, of course, you know, you had the whole marriage scene at Condi Pate and everything.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's finally realizing with Aiko, it's like, man, you know what? This is really annoying, actually.
yeah. So we got a couple items here. There is no elixir around the side. I think that one actually is visible. The Brigadine, though, is not. It's kind of like to the left around, I don't know, the
Stairs or
trunk. Yeah,
something like
stairs,
that.
whatever it
Yeah,
is. Make sure you
to
pick that
hit.
up. We don't have that yet. It's a great item. And before we move on, we're going to do our bold move. So let's do it. All right, we got our bold moves for this episode. Alex, what do you have?
All right. So I'm feeling you're gonna like this one, man, because it's a little bit obscure. Well, I guess you know from Final Fantasy 13, a lot
Okay.
of things are obscure. Basically, I was just thinking, you know, it's a pretty bold move how before Snow knows about, you know, Hope's mom and everything and what happened there, like he had no idea for most of the story.
Right.
And there were times when he would say to Hope, like, the army's no match for Nora.
Yeah, right.
That's so inappropriate. I just love. Oh, Snow, what a
Super
bold move, man.
disrespectful, man. Okay.
Yeah. So what you got?
Oh, goodness. Well, mine is going to Final Fantasy VII. All right. It was a very bold move of Cloud to be totally okay with a dolphin shooting him up like 40 feet in the air. Okay, Mr. Dolphin was firing him hot, and you have to like stand on these small little planks. Dude, that's a bold move. I wouldn't have the guts
Oh,
to do
man.
that.
Well, and I love the concept too, and not to get too diverted, but has anybody else noticed that, like, there's electricity going into the water, and they're pretending like if you get too close, then you get. That's not how currents work, but
No,
okay.
it's pools. It's like schools of fish, but it's electricity, okay?
It's just like, well, if you stay a good enough distance away, you won't get electrocuted. Okay.
Yeah. No,
That's a good
that
one,
was yeah, that was a very bold move. I mean, he had all these hazards, and he's still just going for it.
and the fact that too, he's like, when he shoots up there with the dolphin, he's standing on its head or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
funny.
dude, at least he brings flair with it. But all right, well, let's see what's awaiting us at the bottom of the Iifa tree here. All right, man. Dialogue progresses a little bit, right? Something's coming.
Yeah.
It's flaming down, and it's very strange. This is an odd-looking fellow, by the way. You know, his name is Soulcage, is what we know. He says, "Hey, I'm Soulcage," introduces himself very nicely to us. And like someone used truth serum on him or something. He's just like giving us all the details. Doesn't matter. You could ask him anything, and he apparently will just go ahead and tell you, no problem.
Because he's just like, basically, you guys are gonna die, so I might as well just tell you everything you need to know because I'm about to kill
Yeah,
him.
classic mistake,
Um,
man.
yeah, but here we go again, just like what you said before that, and Dagger falls down or something like that, so we gotta go help Dagger, and then Soulcage comes down, and there's this whole dialogue, and we find out that this is the bad boy that is responsible for creating the mist
Yep.
and basically sowing the seeds of war among nations and all of this type of stuff, so
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
crazy part.
that's how he explains it. He said, my mist goes out and instills a fighting spirit to war among nations. And it's like, okay, so that explains literally everything that's going on in the mist continent right
Yeah.
now.
He also
And
talks about the dregs of souls and how they've been used to create more black mages and how Kuja's been harnessing that power to create the black mages.
yeah.
And so, he basically talks to Vivi and he's just like, tell me, puppet, do you deny your own existence?
Yeah.
It's a
It's
pretty
he's
crazy
kind of
part.
mean. It's
Yeah, because basically Vivi's got this decision. When you think about it, if they kill Soul Cage, then no more mists will be produced and no more black mages will be produced. But Vivi decides that he doesn't want any more tools of war to be created. He'd rather
yeah.
just stop all of that.
Stop it.
So
So you fight him, and all right, there's a lot to go over, so we're gonna do it a very particular way. First way we're gonna do it is by talking about the steals as usual. You can get an oak staff for 100%. Not, I mean, you've been able to have those for for a little bit here. Magician
yeah,
cloak is 6.25%, which is
man,
bizarre considering how long you've had that and how terrible
what
it
a
is.
horrible steal. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then here's the big one though. We have another one of those absolute insane steal rates of 0.39%. That's a brigadine, which you literally
Yeah,
just found in the trash behind the stairs. I mean, like,
yeah, and
so don't kill yourself over stealing this.
for real. And you'll be able to buy them in about like an hour of gameplay. You'll be able
Yeah.
to just buy those in the store. So really, the steal's not a big deal. This guy has some really annoying moves. What's one of your least favorites that he uses here?
So, well, I think my least favorites is the mistake that everyone has probably made at one point, maybe your first playthrough. And, Fyra is just such a convenient spell because it's like the
Oh,
second one down. You don't have to scroll anywhere. And so, like, yeah, I'll hit it with a wave of Fyra. He's a tree, he'll burn up,
oh
right?
no.
Well, yeah, then you light him on fire, and then he comes at you with fire blades, which is fantastic. That like almost one shots everyone.
Yeah. And it's actually a good design by the game producers pretty much because
Yeah,
you're thinking this guy's a tree, so fire should be pretty effective against him. And it's like, yes, but like you said, fire blades is brutal. I think it does it's weird because it kind of does somewhat random damage, but it does a lot of damage to your whole party and
it
has a
does.
tendency to take out some of your weaker party members like Aiko and Vivi. So
Yeah.
it's pretty brutal.
It is. You can put it out though if you use Blizzard. So if you run
Oh,
into that's an interesting thing that apparently you can
didn't
put the
know that.
fire out by
Okay.
using Blizzard after that. He has a bunch of other ones. He can cast a level 5 death, so
Oh,
I was actually preparing for this. All of my characters were level 20. Literally all of them.
oh
And so
no.
I had to actually level up. And so that's the thing. Another, if you're listening and you got to kind of pay attention to this sometimes. Like, they
Mhm.
just happened to all be 20, and so I got everyone but Aiko, so I knew she'd be taken out.
If you're not prepared for it, like with many Final Fantasy games, if you don't know what to prepare for, it can be pretty tough. And yeah, level 5 death is just one of those moves that, well, if you happen to be level 20, 25, or anything like that, it's just 100% death every single
Yep.
time. He's got another really annoying move called Mustard Bomb, and
Yes.
this causes a status called Heat. I don't think we've seen this yet, so
No, I think it's the first time.
these these statuses start to become really, really annoying, and a lot of
Yeah,
enemies
they
start
do.
to use these moves. So there's an ability called Body Temp that can make you immune to this, but again, if you don't know this is coming, then this is a different thing. Anyways, Mustard Bomb causes heat, and heat, when you're under that status, what it does is basically you can't take an action, otherwise you die.
Yeah,
So your character either just have to,
wait it
pressing
out.
triangle to cycle through or die. So
Yeah. Yeah, if you take an action, you'll do it, but then you'll die afterwards. Quite an interesting thing, and exactly, didn't really know that was coming. He has a couple other things like you can do shockwave, leaf swirl, that's just kind of some more like full group damage, nothing too crazy. And all of this to say, well, he is technically considered an undead foe. So if you really just want to one shot him, go ahead and the first action just cast life and be done with it. So that's
Oh
the
man.
craziest thing. That's why it's like don't even worry about the Brigadine. Kill him with the first just one shot him for the fun of it. You know, this is the first boss you've actually been able to do that if you've been very subpar like
Yeah.
myself.
And you know what's kind of nice is like I guess you have that indication of all of the enemies in the Iifa tree are undead, or more or less, some
Yeah,
form of
pretty much.
undead. So I guess you have that kind of clue. But then also when it comes to life, there's really not a downside to using life because either it's gonna miss or it's just gonna kill them. So
Yeah, just come out and again, it's only 6 MP. Also, I was
yeah.
using Phoenix Downs a couple of times. Phoenix Downs sometimes do kill them, I found, or sometimes
Oh,
it leaves them with low level, like maybe 1 or 2 health. And so you just follow
mm,
up with a VV attack, and VV will take them out. You know what I mean? And so it's
nice.
you got a lot of options. And it's just kind of interesting that whole place,
Yeah.
like you said, is like that. It's just very easy. So, well,
So
you take them
anyways,
out and you get this really sweet cinematic where all of the mist it's true he was making all of it's gone, right? And so I think it shows even like the evil forest is now all the mist
yeah.
is lifting off that, so you're thinking okay maybe it's going back to normal, right? Stuff like that. And
Hmm.
regardless, no more mist, so yeah, head on out. We get a little visit from our pal who doesn't like us very much, Moko.
Something precious has been stolen from the village. Oh no, we gotta run
Yeah.
back there immediately.
Oh,
So
so yes, we are going back to Madain. Sorry. So yes, I know we went there. No, we went to the Iifa Tree. Well, now we're going back to Madain.
yeah,
Sorry,
getting
and
confusing.
we did this, and we were expecting Kuja to show up right at the Iifa Tree. That's what's going on, and so there's just a real quick discussion. The fact that everyone's like, no, okay, we got time. Let's go ahead. Let's go to Madain. Sorry, with Aiko.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone's still together. We're all going there, and you find out that some stone's been stolen, right? You go
Yeah.
in like it's underneath the kitchen. It's Aiko's little secret room that we'll make sure to rob later. Don't worry. And this stone's been that's it's just gone.
Yeah, and this whole part's kind of like true to Final Fantasy tradition, I guess, where everything just sort of magically works out because
Yeah,
after you get the news that something's been stolen, they're like, "Oh, well, what about Kuja?" And then Zidane's just like, "Kuja can wait." It's like, how do you know that? I mean, what if he does? So
right when you
anyway,
get to Metis, you see the dragonfly. You're like, oh crap, man, we just got here.
I mean, of course, Final Fantasy though, so everything just works out. But
Yes.
we go back and basically, yeah, in the little room and everything, and this is where Aiko starts feeling real sorry for herself and just being like, "Oh, I shouldn't have gone with you guys. I should have stayed here and done what I was supposed to do and guarded the stone or whatever it
Yeah.
is." And then you get some funny dialogue with Dagger and Zidane, and it's just like,
Well, yeah. It's all started because what Zane is like. It's okay, Aiko, you can cry. She's
you
like,
can cry,
I'm not
right?
going to cry. Adults don't cry, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
or grown-ups or something. She says, and it's just it's
Yeah,
pretty
and
funny. But
then
yeah, now everyone wants to talk about crying.
yeah, and Dagger's just like, "What about you, Zidane? Do you ever need a shoulder to cry on?" And Zidane's just like, "Oh no, you don't want it with me. I get real clingy when I get sad."
Yep. Yep.
So
Everyone's talking about boo-hooing. Only thing to really do at this point is you can now control Zidane. So again, make sure you rob the secret room. It's not like there's anything there. It's I don't know, Phoenix
couple items.
down, it's something. I mean, it's
I think
just
there's a
whatever.
survival vest or something, but it's really funny because they're all in like super tiny little chests as
Yeah,
well, like
exactly.
really small treasure chests for some reason.
Yeah, and so at this point, well, we gotta find whoever stole this. I forget exactly what happens. I'm sure you walk out a couple screens and Moogles they bring you some treasure. It's this fantastic things that you probably have already had for a while, but they bring you an
Yeah,
exploda. I forget what the other item is. Do you remember what that is?
an elixir.
An elixir. So that is a good one. Always take those. I mean, you got to peek inside and then you got to go in. So we find out that we have a surprise visitor again. I mean, we already know who kind of has been after us, but she's back. She is one of the most beautiful bounty hunters, and I tell you, I 100% agree. I'm with that. It's Lonnie. She's back, and she's
Oh
just
man.
holding Aiko by the bow or something. She's like, "This is a very easy way of holding you."
Yeah, it's like her wings or something like that, and she's just like holding her by it, and yeah, so they're at the Eidolon Wall, and that's where all of this is going down.
Yeah,
And anyway, so you go in there, Zidane's gonna save the day, but lo and behold, this other dude crashes the party, right?
yeah. Very interesting thing, isn't it? He comes down. We know who he is. He's the same guy that we saw way back at the throne. So remember when we first met these two, they came into the queen. The queen was like, "Go kill him." And we only met Lonnie that first time, so we actually haven't seen him yet. But now here he is, and he kind of actually helps. He doesn't work
Yeah.
with kidnapping scumbags. We find out, and so
Yeah, I mean, at least the dude's got like a little bit of, moral integrity.
yeah,
So, I mean, he's a bounty hunter and everything, but he's not gonna stoop as low as Laney does, where, just like holding people hostage for a jewel and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
he breaks it all up. Basically, Aiko falls into Zidane's arms, so she's safe at this point.
yeah.
And then Lonnie's just like, "What the heck are you doing? We're working together and all this stuff." Now you have this really weird situation where after Laney runs away and everything, he turns to Zidane and he's like, "All right, now you fight me."
Yeah, we don't know what his beef is with Zidane because, he even started that conversation back with the Queen about, you heard there's a monkey-tailed guy, and so he's
Right.
clearly after Zidane for some reason. And well, yeah, you have to fight him. Just, it's a rite of passage. You have to just fight people all the time.
Yeah.
That's how it's solved, I guess, in Final Fantasies.
Well, yeah, and then Zidane, he says something funny where it's just like Dagger. So, oh, don't worry about it. I was just looking for more ways to impress you, anyways.
Yeah. So
So,
wouldn't wouldn't recommend stealing against Scarlet Hair. That's his boss name. And
that's
I
an
mean, if you
interesting
do,
name.
you can get an Ether 100%, Poison Knuckles 25%. So it's kind of like, I guess, go for it if you want. If not, you just kind of have to attack him, and he will jump around,
Yep.
which does affect it a bit.
Yeah, but he's pretty easy. I mean, I guess the thing with Poison Knuckles is nice that, if you do steal it, then you don't have to pay 5,000 gil to buy him.
Yep, true.
But really, this battle is just super easy if you want to prepare for it. All you need is Man Eater, probably HP plus 20.
Maybe
Distract is a
counter
nice
if you
ability
want.
if you have it. Counter is good. Eye for
Yeah.
eye if you have it. All of those types of things. And you'll be good. I mean, really, he attacks for like 300 damage or so, and then basically when he's doing the jumping around thing, just don't attack him because it'll miss most of the time, and that's
Yeah,
it.
just wait for him to get back. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. So you'll beat him, and you let him live, and he's really taken aback by that, and so he slinks off, all kind of just grumpy about being able to live, and so that's where we're gonna leave it for now. We're gonna get into seed trivia. Ooh, Alex is at rank 20. Well, this is his rank
Right.
20 quiz. We're gonna see if he can obtain rank 20. Let's do it. All right, dude. I think I have a little bit harder questions. We'll see.
Okay, I mean, last time it was definitely up a notch in difficulty, I'd say.
All right, let's do it. The first question is going to be in Final Fantasy X. So, you can steal Arctic winds from snow wolves.
False.
All right, Final Fantasy X-2. Binkanel Desert is worth 2.6% completion, and we're just gonna
jeez.
omit comm spheres completely, like not from comm spheres or anything, like just Binkanel Desert itself overall for the whole game is worth 2.6%.
False.
Third question, Final Fantasy VII. The combo to the Shinra Mansion safe is 36, 10, 59, 97.
True.
All right, Final Fantasy 13. Fane wears black boots.
Oh man. False.
All right, man. Final Fantasy VIII. The Buell card has a 6 on the top.
Oh, this is tricky, man. True?
All right. Final Fantasy IX. The PC's Stelazio is at Daguerro.
False.
And our last question, man, is in Final Fantasy XII. At level 99, Fran has the highest vitality stat. Just natural vitality stat.
I have no idea. False. It's a tough one. I don't really pay attention to the vitality stat on its own.
You need to get everyone to 99, and you need to have memorized that, man. What's your problem?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's recap here. So we got our first question was Final Fantasy X. You said false, and it is false. You cannot steal Arctic winds from Snow Wolf.
It's sleeping powder.
It's sleeping powder, yeah. Did you steal a lot of sleeping powder from Arctic wolves?
Heck yeah, man. This is all stuff like when you're doing like low level games, you know, trying to get sleep ward.
Okay.
It's a big thing, so that's why I know that.
All right, man. Our second question was in Final Fantasy X-2, Beaconell Desert's only worth 2.6% completion. You said false. It's true. I added it up. I went back to, I got the guide, right? It has all of the percentages. Beaconell Desert itself is only worth 2.6%. Now, I don't know about the column spheres.
Really
I didn't go into that, man. Yeah, that was, no. Final Fantasy VII, the combo to the mansion safe is 36, 10, 59, 97. You said true almost instantly. It is true. So, you have that memorized, it would appear.
I've got that memorized at this point. Oh, man.
Our next question was in Final Fantasy 13. So it was that Fane wears black boots. You said false, and it is false. Why are you all up in her fashion, man? What's wrong with you? Give her some space.
I don't know. She's got like sandals on or
it's
something.
It's like, yeah, they're like silver sandals is what they're All right.
Up in her fashion.
So far, you've only missed one, man. Keeping it going. All right, Final Fantasy VIII. You said it's about the Buell card having 6 on top. You said true. It is true. So the Buell card does have that 6 on the top, and the rest are like 2s or something. But
yeah,
hey, got that one direction. All right, Final Fantasy IX. The PC Stelazio's at Daguerro. You said false. It is false. It's not the PCs. It's the Capricorn.
Oh yeah, okay. I knew it was one. I couldn't remember if it was Capricorn or where the other one was.
Yeah. No, it is. All right, our last question, Final Fantasy XII. You said false. It is true. Fran does have the highest vitality stat. I mean, it's by 1. Vaughn's right there in second, but yep, she will have the highest vitality.
So
you missed 2 questions, man, so you got it. Rank 20.
Yes.
I'm failing.
Oh, man, killing it.
All right, well, Alex is nice and happy, so let's go ahead and finish off this episode. A lot more dialogue here after, you know, the encounter with Scarlet Hair or rare-haired man, whatever. He's 1,000 names. Just a lot more things here. We have some conversation now that Aiko has her, you know, her gem back, and she's like struggling with the decision to maybe go with the party for good, but her grandpa told her not to leave until she was 16. So she's going through these things. And I wrote this down, man, because I'm actually kind of curious, which you usually choose, but she asks Zidane, and you are allowed to select either yes, you think it's a good idea, or no. I usually just select yes, because I'm just kind of scrolling through a little too fast. What is the reply if you select no? Is it any different? Do you happen to know that?
I honestly have no idea, because it's kind of brutal to say no. I always felt like I could never get myself to actually do that. I'm assuming the story. Well, I mean, I know like the story has to go on the way that it does. So, but I don't know what kind of difference in dialogue you get, or if you get.
You think there would be maybe a little bit different, but you know, maybe it's not. You know, I don't know. But regardless, yeah, she's still gonna come no matter what, of course.
Pretty much, yeah.
But so regardless, you do find that out, and then you get another funny conversation as usual with Aiko and Zidane, where she's talking about how her and Mog are best friends and they made each other a bow, but it's too small for her. When she's a sophisticated lady, maybe she'll wear it for Zidane. And Zidane he fires back, he's like, I didn't know Mog was a girl.
I know, I love that part too. It's really witty because they're sitting there talking, and of course, Aiko makes another pass at Zidane.
Yeah.
And then instead of Zidane reacting to the pass itself, he just is like more taken back and just sitting there like, I didn't know Mog was a girl. Huh.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah,
It's
like everything else went
totally
over
missed
his
it.
head.
Yep, yep. And then
Yep.
she gets all mad, of course, again. It's
She
just
goes into her fighting pose. Yep. Little.
the amount of time she does that. It's so funny. It's like, what? You didn't get what I was trying to say.
Exactly. It's great stuff. I'm not there might be some filler here. I'm not entirely sure exactly. I think it's just a lot of scenes, but you walk out of the kitchen. I think you can sit there and talk, I think again, but regardless, you have to walk out of the kitchen. Once you do that, it just continues on with some more kind of just cutscenes. You got Dagger seeing it up again. You find this pretty sweet cove. There's a boat and
For some reason.
yeah, it's Zidane just obviously he just realized what he puts Dagger through is, what he realized. It didn't matter though. It didn't he can't stop himself. He just can't control it. It's this urge, but basically says they should become bandits and walk around calling themselves the betrothed or something like that. And Dagger fires back with, my talent is up to snuff, but that name isn't. Boom, Zenith girl.
I love it. Yeah, it's the betrothed, I think, or something.
Yeah.
That's hella funny. But yeah, that happens, and then you get a really crazy scene here where it all finally starts to make sense why Dagger has been feeling so uneasy in this place for whatever reason. She just feels like something familiar about this, and you get a flashback of almost like the very beginning of the game where
beginning,
them on a stormy sea on the little boat, and you can see sort of the almost like a hurricane or something is going on.
Yeah, a bunch of tornadoes or something.
Yeah, and it's like a flashback to basically her memories of the destruction of Sari, and then she passes out, and it's all too much for her and everything like that. So
yep. And so, like Alex has said, it fills in. We figure out that she is in fact a summoner. She is from this little village, and she didn't go to the castle until she was 6. And she didn't remember all that stuff. So it all comes back. I mean, there's a few small details we still don't know yet, and they will be filled in and stuff. But for the most part, that I think Aiko is like super excited because hey, she's not alone anymore. There's another one of her, and they just want to pray together, I think is what it is. And so I'm sure we skipped a lot, and there's just there's a lot of story here and a lot of filler, but we just did as much as we can. And so here we are, we're kind of leaving, but no, you think it wouldn't end yet. No, it's not ended, right? We got another little situation developing, right?
Yeah, Scarlet Hair shows up again. We're just about to leave. Aiko saying goodbye to all her little Moogle buddies and all that kind of stuff. And then Scarlet Hair shows up, and he's just like, Zidane, why didn't you kill me the other day?
hey, bro, you got a minute, man? Hey, bro, dude, why didn't you kill me, dude?
Exactly. He's like, bro, why didn't you kill me? Seriously, I'm actually irritated about that because you beat me in battle. You're supposed to kill me. That's how this goes. And then Zidane's just like, you want me to kill you that bad and all this kind of stuff? And he's just like, oh, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
And Zidane pops back with a nice little quote. Sly eagle doesn't kill at whim.
It's like, whoa, dude. You got these Zen moments, and it's the sly eagle doesn't kill at whim. So Zidane thinks himself as a sly eagle, eh?
Yeah. But it's this whole thing, and we'll get some more backstory because we don't really even know who Scarlet Hair is. at this point and what his connection is to Zidane, but
Yeah.
something about the way that Zidane conducts himself that he really wants to know, how do you get your strength in battle, but yet you don't, use it in that way just to kill
Yeah.
everybody and stuff like that. It's just kind of interesting. So basically, Zidane is in a crazy move. He's just like, well, why don't you come with us? And
Dude,
maybe
okay,
then you'll
hold up,
figure
hold
out.
up. In a crazy move, dude. He looked around and was like, "Gosh, I really need someone that can swing a sword, man. This is looking pretty
Oh,
grim for
that's
me right now."
such a good point. Yeah. It's like, I mean, for Dagger and Ico, they're like, what? But for him, he's like, okay, look, we need another physical attacker here. I'm
Yeah, he's
doing all
like,
this work myself.
"Are you guys gonna start like cranking out some damage, or
Yeah.
are we just gonna have to get this guy?"
So not crazy as far as like needing help in battle. No.
Yeah.
Scarlet hair is really good. And anyways, his turns out his name is Amarant.
Yep. And so there you go. He joins the party. Kina has not. So Kina still has not joined.
Yeah,
She just,
Kina's still, I
man,
don't
she
know what
is
she's doing.
fishing like crazy. I don't know. She's becoming the
Walking around,
master
Madain
angler
Sari.
there. And I don't know what's going on, but regardless, you now have, for the first time ever, 5 party members at once. So you have to
Yeah,
make a decision here.
yeah,
And
you
I
can
think
finally
I mean,
choose.
obviously you're keeping Zidane, you're keeping Vivi. Let's be real
Sure.
here. You gotta have them.
Yeah.
And so who goes, man? Is it Aiko or is it Dagger?
Gotta be honest, man. I think I always go with Dagger
Yeah.
because a couple of reasons. Like Ramu at this point, plus MP, and Dagger is a little bit more developed on my team. Like she has more abilities and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So just for me, Aiko usually kind of gets like, put on the sidelines or
Put on
the
silence,
the, the
yeah.
bench. Yeah. What
Yeah,
about you?
it's an interesting thing. I mean, they have very similar magics right now. They're gonna start to get the items that take them their separate ways and
Yeah.
kind of give them their strengths. But yeah, I think last time I played, these months ago before we even started the series, I went with Aiko because I didn't remember her really at all. But this
Yeah.
time I think it will go Dagger, man. She's just a little more well-rounded. She can with those rackets. I know she has healing rod right now, but she can with the
Yeah.
rackets actually deal a decent amount of damage. You don't always have to summon, and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
so,
She also has a little bit more HP. So I don't
yes.
know. It depends on, what characters you like, what you're really looking for. Because I guess another way you could think about this is you might want to take Aiko to develop Aiko a little bit more, like,
Yeah.
work on the accessories with her abilities and things like that. But anyways, regardless of who you take with you, we're off again. If you decide to take Amarant, you've got a lot of work to do with him. Like he's again
Yes.
brand new character, starting from scratch, basically no
No,
abilities.
yeah. But you should
So
have poison knuckles, and I know that the abilities are different from whatever knuckles he starts with. I forget what they're called, but
cat claws or
yeah, I
something.
think it is Cat Claws. I know Cat
And
Claws has something different, but there are other items that have what Cat Claws does have, so you might as well put
yeah,
that
and
on
it
and get Poison Knuckles in the match.
has a really bad ability to start off. Doesn't it have like spare change or something like that?
It's
I'm
yeah, it's
trying to
something
think.
like that. Yeah, it's not it's not very helpful.
What? Yeah, and
So,
on top of that, it takes like 90 AP to learn it, and it's just,
yeah,
man, it's a
it's
pain.
it's a long one, and so you got the same shot. Morrison's still there. It's still the same items. So once again, there's pinwheels, but hey, you can't actually use them yet, and so it's still kind of just a teaser for you. It's pretty funny, but get poison knuckles, get whatever you need, and then it's time, as Alex said, we gotta just leave. We gotta go once again back to Iifa Tree. So,
Iifa
I know we
Tree, yeah.
started
So
there and we came back to where we just were last episode, and now we're going, but anyways, it's a little back and forth here. Completely different the second time at least. And so, that's
uh,
what you're heading up for, man.
we'll see if Kuja was kind enough to wait. That's why
Yes,
we're doing all our stuff back at Maiden. Sorry, but we'll find out.
absolutely. So, once again, as always, we thank you so much for hanging out with us, listening, supporting us. Please do stop by Instagram. Check us out. It's Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks. That is our handle. We post screenshots of the things we talk about throughout the week, and it's just really fun having the options there for people to let us know if they do something differently than we do and whatnot. And Of course, our website, Final Stop for FinalFantasyTalks.com, has our episodes there as well, as well, along with the blog posts that we do and kind of put in songs, and we put in the seed trivia questions and answers and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to check that out. All right.
Yeah, and also we're loving all of the comments and everything on Instagram, so keep it coming, guys.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm Mark,
I'm Alex.
and this is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks.